What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video with Dracon. Now today we're going to unbox a lovely box here. This is from the Dark Souls board game, with Steamforged Games being their producer and creator and all that stuff. And as you can see here, we're going to be going with the Iron Keep expansion. Now you've probably seen my other expansion videos on the big old chunky knight, his thin friend, and then the Titanite and the gargoyle. But we're going to get into an actual set that comes with a bit more numbers in it. So, as you can see here, we're going to have a bunch of models. We got at least, like, what, 7 models here? Some normal types, which... Wait a minute, is that... I just realized that. One might just be like a rock or a skull or something. But, you know, we're not going to worry about that. We got some cool demons, a cool undead guy, some more undead guys, rock, maybe? I don't know what it is. We'll see when I open it. But we got some models. Which is good, because I always could use some more knights. I mean, we got some cool-looking knights here. So let's get them open, take a look, and see what's inside. We'll do a comparison to at least the other... Since they're mostly knights, we're going to compare them to the knights that I have done before. So the original Dark Souls set I opened. Which those guys are actually painted, so we're going to get a nice comparison. So let's open up and take a look, shall we? Okay, so first up we have the 3 models of the Elone Sword Knight. And as you can see, they look like your standard knight in armor. Which is good. Nothing wrong with that. You can always have them be a PC or NPC or some more guards. That's always a good thing. You always need more knights in armor for your fantasy games. They are on a good-sized base. I would say they're easily for maybe a little bit bigger than 28mm. Maybe they're more like a 30. They're going to be tall next to your normal models, but, you know, big knights ain't the worst thing in the world. So, I mean, for bodies, it works, which is always good. Looking at them, though, and their stats... They're pretty simple, but good simple, and I like it. I like their sculpts. They're pretty basic, your standard-esque knight looking, which is fine. So, yeah, pretty simple. I mean, there's really not much to say. They're really nice. They're not super bad with the plastic is good material. They do seem to have a little bit of bendy weapon syndrome, but easily fixable with a little heat. But, yeah, pretty nice. Now, we don't get a full 5 of these guys, which I don't think we do with everyone either. Let me just look at the box quickly. Yeah, I think we get like 3 of each of these characters. I believe we get 2 of what are called crystal lizards. I thought they were a skull or something, but actually they're crystal lizards, and I do remember hearing those before. And then we got the 2 big boys. Let me think for total here, because I mean, like, yeah, that seems accurate. Okay, yeah, that actually doesn't make out for the correct number. We do have cards and stuff, and I would go over them, but, you know, the cards I'm just going to keep in the background in case I ever do decide to get this game, because these guys would just sit in the box with the rest of the miniatures. I'm not going to have separate boxes for the expansions. But they are pretty cool. I kind of like the bit of a samurai-esque feel, because some of their armor plates look a little samurai mixed with knight, so it's pretty nice. I believe these work with the Sir Elone. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. If I am, say it in the comments down below. I'm sorry. But yeah, pretty cool looking. So let's move on to the next troops, I guess, that you get with this. Okay, so here we have the Elone Bow Knights. These are your same thing as your Sword Knight, literally the same style. They even have a sword, but these guys have bows. They're literally just an archer variant. Now, I don't see a quiver on them, which is kind of weird. Doesn't show it in the picture, doesn't show it in the model. That's a weird one. I don't know why they couldn't just put an arrow satchel or, like, you know, a quiver of arrows on them. It's really, really peculiar because I'm not seeing anything that's making me think they're arrowmen, except they're holding bows. And I get maybe it was to cut a little cost that way, but it's like, I think it needs the quiver. I think we need the quiver on these guys to help you with that, because from the front, yeah, but from the back, they look like metal knights. Or I could easily turn them into just more sword knights by cutting the bow out of their hands, and now they're just sword knights that have yet to draw their weapon. But you know what? Knight archers, it's a thing, so it works. Okay. Totally I'm fine with it. I mean, they very simplistic sculpt, just like the last guys. I think they're just a fraction thicker. They do look a little taller as they are standing more upright, which is pretty normal. So I have to say, overall, another good sculpt. But since they haven't changed, I think the next one they will actually change. We'll actually get some variants, because, like, I know they're very simple and basic, but hey, we always can use more simple, basic peons on the board. Okay, so next up we're going to go with the these are a special unit, I'm assuming. They're called the Ironclad Soldier. I am reading this from the little booklet came with it. And I gotta say, pretty nice. I mean, they're big old chunky boys with clubs. They are on a base that would probably put them in a large category, so I mean, you could use them as armored ogres. You could use them as orogs, because they're bigger than the normal orcs. I mean, like, there's tons of options you could use them for, which is kind of nice. They could work for, like I said, an armored orc. Could easily just be like a full armor orc and they would work. Because they got that big back on them, which makes them look like they've got like a, I don't want to say a hump, but it makes it look like they got like sort of like the turtle effect. Granted, you could use them as giant turtles, I guess, too. But, I mean, they don't have a beak face, so... Yeah, I'd just say something humanoid with armor. Or you could use them for a demon. I don't really know off the top of my head what demon in the Nine Hells or what devil... Sorry, the devil of the Nine Hells or what demon of the Abyss could work for it. But, could use them for that. You could use them for a Hell Knight. Nothing bad about that. I mean, just paint like a fire in their eyes, a little fire in their joints. You'd be good to go. But, yeah. I kind of like them. They got a little bit of run going on there, so they're not going to be like a stationary slow boy. They got some speed to them, some sort. Kind of your big, thick, chunky fighters, which is pretty good. Not bad. And I like the mace. The mace is pretty unique. It's different looking. It's not just like a giant ball. It's got style. Definitely feels across that Dark Souls like it's going to come over and clobber you. I mean, you could use them for a PC, I guess, if maybe you're doing like some of, for instance, you're doing Mr. X's books on, I don't know, shout out Mr. X too. Yeah, shout out for him. But he's doing that whole monsters classes thing. Maybe you could use this to be like a full armored ogre or a full armored troll. Something that could be full armor that's humanoid. You know what I mean? It could work. And this way you could look more regular, so maybe you're not always freaking out townspeople when you go to their villages. But yeah, pretty nice. I gotta say, pretty nice. Sorry, camera was adjusting. So here we have the Sir Alone Knight Captain. Or the Alone Knight Captain. I thought it was Sir. But yeah, they're doing like that sort of the anime style pose. Like I'm about to draw the sword and cut you down in a single blow look. So that's kind of cool. They do have a little bit different in the head. And since they are a captain, they're higher rank. So that's kind of cool. I mean, they're unique. I kind of wish there actually was only one of them because... With 3 of these guys, I mean, with the numbers, I'm like, are you telling me each guy gets like 1 swordsman, 1 bowman, and 1 clobbering soldier? I mean, it's a pretty small squad for a captain. But hey, you know what? I don't run it. And you know what? You can always have different captains for different squads. And plus, this gives you a couple different leaders for our officers for your group. So this could work for your guards. Like maybe, hey, the captain's shown up. One of the captains. So, something kind of cool. Very nice. I mean, they're very simple, but yeah, very nice. They're literally their shoulder plates and their headpieces look to be the main difference. And then they have a bit of a cloth in the front. A little bit more samurai-esque too in the pants. Like their armor and their like thighs look like they're more samurai pants because they got that puff to them. But yeah, I like it. I actually say these are probably one of my favorite sculpts of the regular soldiers. So pretty nice. So here we have Sir Alone himself, the great big... You know what? He's wielding an Odachi. That's definitely an Odachi. I mean, it's got the curvature. It's a single-edged sword. It's literally a giant samurai sword. He's got more of the samurai armor, as you can see, too, unlike his men. He does have, like, an armored helm. He has, like, that long hairpiece coming out the back. But you can definitely see more like that plate style you would see with more of the Japanese-inspired armor, which I kind of like on him. He looks pretty cool. Pretty sweet indeed. I definitely would say for a humanoid character, he works really well. I mean, he's a bit too tall. You could use him actually as for one of the rareness of giant folk where he looks like he could be part giant or half giant where, he's just this big guy, but he's the boss because, he just wields things like a champ. Because, I mean, a normal character wielding that sword would be really ungangly. They'd use it almost like a pike or a spear. Because just look how long it is next to his body. So, I mean, like, it's definitely an Odachi. I believe it's an Odachi style. I believe it is. I could be wrong. But I'd be going with that because, A, it's two-handed. And as long as the blade is as long as the handle is, you're definitely going for some length and control. I also do like the marks on his mask. That kind of like multi-look. Almost like a Trigon look from that 4-eye slice thing. Like, that looks pretty cool. I gotta say, he's a really good-looking model. Really nice. But let's take a break from these big guys. I want to break it up with the crystal lizards. Oh boy, crystal lizards. So taking a break from the big boys here, we got the 2 crystal lizards. Weird they didn't just do 3 of them to match like with the soldiers, but I don't know what crystal lizards are. I mean, I'm going to use them as unique creatures. Maybe even something a player could, befriend. And, I mean, maybe they grow crystals in their back. I don't know what the, life cycle of these things are. Like, if I take the crystal, do they die? Do they grow crystals? Do they eat crystals? I mean, I don't know what they do. But, if I was going to use them for D&D, I would just keep crystal lizard because it's really what they're going to be. But maybe, a warlock would keep them for alchemical reasons. Because you need gemstones. And maybe if you feed them a gemstone, they would grow a bigger one on their back. And maybe they're really valuable. Maybe jewelers would love to get their hands on these because, they could have infinite amounts of jewels. Feed a small diamond, you get a giant diamond growth on its back. You could then break off and use for parts and sell. So, I mean, they're really cool and useful. Maybe a campaign thing could be to save the crystal lizards that are being held by, an evil noble who's using them to get richer and richer. Something like that. So, I mean, they could help make a campaign. They look pretty cool for their little small size. So, very nice. Very nice. Now, here we come with the big bad demon of this set. The Smelter Demon. Now, as you can see, this is one evil-looking mother. This guy is pretty gnarly, and I like it. He's got a unique style. He's got that hollow body feel with the jaws for the body, which is nice. He's got some, hoofed feet, a feel. He's got armor. He's got these giant horns. Honestly, I like the big spinal rib cage there on the back, that big spine to act like it would open and close his mouth. He's got the big horns. He's got that big maw in front of his face. The big kind of crackly sword. I'm definitely going to have to do some actual paint job with that. I'm definitely going to put a little bit of red and yellow inside there when I do that blade, or maybe if I don't want to be a smelter demon, maybe if I want to be an ice demon. Nah, smelter, baby. We're keeping the smelter. I mean, even on his horns. No, actually, his horns don't have crackly. They're just bumpy. Dang, shame. I would have tried to keep that going. Maybe his mouth. It looks like you could probably put a little bit red in the back. Now, I'm not sure if he's got eyes on his chest for the fact that his body has a mouth on it that he could open and probably close. I mean, that would definitely give that an ability he could use. And I would call it body mouth or something, or a torso chomp, where his torso opens up, grabs an opponent of medium size, because he's huge. This boy's big. And I love the big sword. It's not too big where it seems like it'd be hard for him to wield it one-handed. It works. The armor looks nice. He looks really cool. And the great thing is, because he's a unique type of demon, or you could use him... I mean, I don't think he'd be a devil. I think he definitely screams more demon because he's more monstrosity. He's more abominational to be a demon than he would be a devil. But granted, since he's a smelter... it's a tough one. I don't know if I'm going to paint the inside of his mouth, because it might be hard to get in there and paint that. I'll try my best, but man. So if you guys want to see when I do paint these things, go to my Discord guy, or my, you can go to Discord, where I would probably post as well, which would still be the Dracon. I think it's called Dracon's Cave or something, or Dracon Space, but then you also have my Twitter, where at 01Berserker, where you can check out Dracon's channel and see where I put my models. I'm done painting them. But haven't been painting too much lately. I've been mostly doing a lot of work, so I've been very busy. I'm trying to get back in my painting to get some of these models from the old box of miniatures that still need to be painted done, whether 3D printed or not. So boy, oh boy, I'm under a lot to catch up on. But yeah, look at this guy. He's just so cool. And now we're going to compare him to the other knights that are maybe also undeads. Not really sure. I don't remember the lore off the top of my head, but we'll get to him. So here he is. Here's the Smelter Demon Sir Alone next to that giant, I call him the hefty axe boy. That's what I call him. Because you can see he's just a big guy with a big axe. He's in the same size category as Sir Alone. That's why I've always said he'd be more of a large. The huge base was obviously for him for balance. Probably because the weapon would pull and it would probably cause him to fall over. Fair enough. But yeah, Sir Alone works great with it because he's just got that squat style. Actually, he'd probably be a little bit taller than this boy, too. Fully extended. But yeah, I mean, he works good, too, next to the Smelting Demon. Or the Smelter Demon, which works. I mean, he's in that same scaling of, that they're both in this good sizing that they'd work together on a board, which would be pretty nice. Very nice. Let's compare them, though, to the other of the big undead knights. Here he is next to the, I call him the squat knight, because he's always, or the crouching knight, because he's got the crouching style. And he's about to, like, go ham on them. Now, with this guy, I painted him literally, as you remember, I painted him just in metal armor, because that's really all he's got. There's a little bit of fabric, but I even made that, like, gray. I know, I'm like, wow, really imagined him. I gave him, like, gray, dirty cloth. But, you know, he's a fighter, you know, and he's got a little bit of reddish in the eyes. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's not coming through that well, but that's fine. But you can see, like, next to Alone, it looks accurate. Like, it looks about right. Because if he stood up tall, he'd probably be like the Smelter Demon, pretty tall. And Alone is definitely in the, I'd say, the large class. He's not exactly huge, even though he's got a sword that's around the same size as the Crouching Knight's sword. Maybe about as long as the Smelter's, but not as thick and heavy. So, yeah, I think that looks good. So I got to give Steamforge credit. So, final thoughts on this one. Well, this set was actually not super expensive either. It was actually, weirdly enough, when I bought this, it was on sale as well. I usually like to get my stuff on sale, but this one was only like 28 something, which isn't bad for what I got. Because, I mean, look what we're getting here. We're getting, like, a bunch of knights, some cool little lizards, and a demon that you could definitely be using to bolster a kingdom or bolster the armies and stuff like that. Now, granted, like I said, they're a little bit tall next to a normal person. That I get it. Sorry. But I think overall what you're getting for that price, you're getting some lovely sculpted models. Steamforge doesn't hold back. They produced a lot of good stuff, just like their tier or the God tier, which you guys have seen those ones unboxing. If you haven't, go check them out on my channel, guys. And those models, they look great. They have a great look to them. They're not like D&D traditional in scaling, but like I could put these next D&D stuff and I think they'd work just fine. A little bit bigger, but you know what? Why not? It works. And plus a Smelter Demon, he's a huge class demon. It works perfectly fine. I could see that demon running right next to a Garistro into battle. Or if I turn him into a Smelting Devil, maybe he's running at the Garistro to slice him down. You know, I could see that kind of stuff going on in the Blood Wars. Like I could see them work with it. Which is what's important. And these are knights. I mean, when do you not need more knights to make more guards and things like that? Because you never have enough guards, and you're like, oh, I've only got like 4 guards on the table. I need to put like guards up here, guards there, and guards there for this battle situation. Because your group was stupid enough to start a fight with them, you know, that kind of stuff. And like I said, you get 2 crystal lizards to have as unique, rare creatures in general. That could be creating crystals, or they eat crystals. Or, you know, maybe your character uses them as a coin purse. Like, they carry all the crystals in gold. Or, I mean, all the crystals for your character. Like, they eat them and it goes in their back. I don't know. Like, a lot of possibilities, man. But anyway, overall, great deal. If you guys can get a hold of these, I definitely recommend it. They're an awesome addition to have to your miniatures library. And if you're definitely playing Dark Souls, they're probably really good for that game, too. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I thank you for coming this far in the video. As always, make sure you hit that like button, or in this case, Smelter Smash. That's the like button. And make sure you definitely subscribe, because, you know, helps the channel grow, and more growth, the more stuff I'll bring you. And, you know, if you have any comments, concerns, ideas, or, you know, anything else you want to see, go ahead and throw it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure you share this with your friends, guys. Help the channel grow more and more by helping more people get to enjoy this stuff. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time. Join the Dragon Army, and bye-bye.